I'm Vanessa Ruck. I'm here in the XL Moto garage and we are talking about gloves. There are so many gloves out there. Let's talk about things to think about in finding the perfect gloves for you. As motorcycle riders, picking the right kit is a really important part for our safety and comfort out on the road. And gloves are a really important part in our outfit. As kids, we probably all remember falling over and grazing our hands, and when we add that to the speed that we ride on motorcycles, it's a very important safety equipment piece. However, there are so many gloves on the market, so how do you pick the perfect glove for you? Hopefully, this video will give you some ideas of the things to think about in selecting the right gloves. First of all then, there are loads of different types of gloves. You've got gauntlets, which are longer up the arm. You have shorter riding gloves, maybe slightly more summer appropriate. You then have full racing gloves with all of the armor, all the way through to more weather conditions with waterproof options. So there's lots of different things on the market, and all of these gloves here are available from Course, which are on the XL Moto website, so do check them out. So let's talk about some of the things to consider when picking your gloves. First of all, every set of hands is different, so finding the glove that fits you is incredibly important. Take a glove that is a little bit too big and loose on your hand. You're going to have lots of excess material. You risk movement in the fabric if you were to come off, potentially even the glove coming off you if it's too loose when you have an accident. On the other end of that same fitting spectrum, you have a glove that's maybe too tight and too snug on your hands. And if it is too tight, you might find you're restricted in your handle controls and use of your hands. So finding the right fit is really important, and that comes with the width of your hand, the length of your hand, the length of your fingers, the size of the wrist. So getting your hand into that glove is quite important. Next thing to think about is your riding style. There are loads of different motorcycles on the market which have a different style of riding and look. So depending on the style of your riding and the look that you're going for, you want to consider that into your options. So for example, we have some slightly more retro tan leather looking gloves. You might find that if you're on a cruiser, a full race spec glove with all of the armor might not feel quite so comfortable for you. So trying to align your style with your style of your gloves is something to think about. We then have the rest of the kit that you're riding in. So say you're in a jacket, how long are the sleeves on your jacket? If you've got a slightly shorter jacket, you're probably going to want to start to think about having a more gauntlet style glove, which is going to cover the gap between your glove and your jacket. You then want to think about, are you going to be riding in the rain? And so do you want your glove to be going inside your jacket or over your jacket? Some of this is down to comfort, personal preference, but again, it's compatibility with the other kit that you are riding in. We then have the weather and the climate, and that's something we certainly can't control, but we probably have a good idea of the sort of riding we're going to be typically seeing. If you're in a warmer climate, maybe a fair weather rider, something on the lighter, shorter, more summer side to keep your hands ventilated and cool could be a good option. But you might find that if you're off on long tours and adventures, you need something that's going to give you a little bit more all-weather protection from the rain, from the cold, winter riding. And so something a little bit thicker, more warmer, thermal properties and waterproof is definitely something to be looking out for. So have a think about when you'll be riding, whether you're going to need a 3-season glove or whether you've got the budget to allow yourself to have a dry glove, a summer glove, a cold glove and a warm glove. It might be that you're a more all-round rider and no matter what the weather conditions, in all 4 seasons, you're going to be out there on your bike, and there are of course 4-season gloves available as well. Gloves aren't just for looks, they are there to protect our hands from the elements and the inevitable of an unfortunate fall. So thinking about what level of protection you want is also a very good one to consider. So take this more full racing glove. This glove has full wrist protection going up. And if I squeeze my hand inside, you've got good knuckle protection, finger protection, fastening on the wrist and double fastening up the arm as well. So that's giving you the maximum sort of variety of protection to your hand. But it might be that you don't feel you need quite so much protection, and a lighter summer glove, which has maybe a little bit more airflow, such as this one, could be a more comfortable option for you. Ensuring that you are getting a glove that has that safety standard rating is incredibly important, and there's a whole different range of materials to keep your hands safe. And of course, there's a good range right here in front of me. And then it comes down to how much money you've got in your pocket or how much you're wanting to spend. There is a pretty broad spectrum of glove budgets out there as far as what you can buy. Here, with the coarse range from XL Moto, we are looking at the more affordable end of gloves to get you out there riding safely with your hands in their happy place. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about picking your gloves. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the gloves that you ride on. Please do hit subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in our XL Moto garage in our next series.